Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you part 12 of What If Naruto Was Neglected with Jashin sealed inside of him. Remember to share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new episode of What If, brand new series. What If Naruto Was a Legendary Neglected Uzumaki over on Anime King, and enjoy that guys. And remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button. And yeah, I do not have only one, not two, but three channels. Three channels that I post What If on a daily basis for you guys to enjoy. Links will be down in the description to the other two channels. Go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. And yeah, without further ado, what do you say begin this new episode? Start the intro. So, the last spot we left off, 2 months has passed, as Jiraiya was currently in the office along with Minato, as he was showing Jiraiya a video footage of the prison cell, where Naruto was, as a rather large man came to sit down beside him. As after a moment, it seemed like Naruto just lost it, as he pummeled the man into oblivion. The guards rushed in to stop him, as it took a lot of them, and many prisoners were killed in the attack. As Naruto was wild like an animal, the guards were shocked because his chakra was sealed away, yet his strength was immense. One of the guards were badly injured, as the man was in a coma, while the others were roughed up, but other than that, no guards died. At the moment, Naruto was in solitary for the past 2 months. Some people would have already lost their mind, broken under the pressure of being in nothing but darkness. But Naruto told Minato that he wanted it this way, as he wanted to reflect on his past actions. Minato was shocked when he heard those words from his son, thinking that Naruto was changing for the better. But little did he know that Naruto just needed time away, as in there, Naruto was changing into something different. As Solitary had no video footage inside, so they did not see what Naruto did in there, as normal human mind could not comprehend what was going on, but it was dark. 3 people had died over the time while Naruto was in solitary, furthermore assuring that Naruto wasn't the person killing everyone, as Minato had went to pick him up. Kushina and everyone paused. Menma was pissed because he was having a wonderful past 2 months so far, and yet he had to come back. Kushina saw him as he really needed a bath, as he spoke to her politely, to her complete shock, as she told him that he could use the upstairs bath, which he did, as he came back completely naked. He didn't know how to use it after all. He never did it before. As she felt ashamed just by hearing that, but she followed him upstairs as she showed him at work. Hinata had made her way inside to get her jacket because the place was getting chilly, and she just had to run into him. As she talked to him, he grabbed her and slammed her up against the wall, as he told her that no one can tell him what to do. As he attacked her lips with a fury, kissing her, she found herself fighting back at first before she only melted into his touch. As Menma then came and asked what was going on. Well, he came just a bit after everything was done. Hinata told him that everything was alright. With that, time passed as Naruto was making his way. It was there that he ran into the Sangenins. 2 girls, 1 boy. Gar, a young kunoichi who was surrounded by death, as Naruto could see it. She had slaughtered a lot. The girl seemed rather emotionless and reek of despair and death. Gar heard a voice in her head as usual. Her mother told her not to attack this one. Even the Shikaku, who was taking the appearance of a wonderful female in Gar's mind, told her to stop. As little did all of them knew, Naruto was about to kill all of them if the Sand hadn't let him go. Minato was busy talking to Kushina, as Kushina was shocked by the development in their son, as she hoped for a slimmer of chance that this might be a way for them to finally have the family that they always wanted, to have the son that loved them, and that they loved as well. She was praying that this might change something. Little did they know that Naruto was just playing with them, messing with their mind on purpose, as all of this was just one big game to him, while they were taking it rather seriously. But it was just a game to him that he loved to play, as he had found it rather interesting to act like a good child for a while. Just to flip that switch, after all, the Chunin exams are coming up, and there was so much to kill. So with that out of the way, Naruto made his way as the envoys were watching him. Minato would give them a task to watch over him, as he had told Naruto that he could join the Chunin exams. Despite not being trained for 2 months, Naruto was already adequate, and not to mention the police footage showed his strength, despite being his chakra seal off, which Minato hasn't questioned him about, as it was just weird to interact with him most times. As Naruto was gone in a flash, the envoys' eyes widened as he rushed down the alley. So yeah guys, so basically that's what I thought. If you guys can switch across the place and check out for episodes to begin this new episode. As someone dashed across the roof, incredible speed, the person was flexible as they flipped and landed. Something went off in the person's ear. Do you have visual, Cat? The envoy, known as Cat, looked around a few seconds before she pressed her ear. Yes, I found him, she said, as she looked down towards Naruto, who was on the ground, as he was just walking calmly. For a moment there, he just vanished out of sight, and he was gone, but now he was back. Do you know where he went? The voice came again. No sir, said Cat into the earpiece. But he's back now, as she narrowed her eyes at him, as it was him. Later did she know that she was being fooled by an illusion, as that was not Naruto. That was merely a root operative that was hench to be seen as Naruto, while the real Naruto was taken and being confronted by none other than the man himself, Danzo Shimura. As Danzo hadn't seen Naruto in some time now. He hadn't seen Naruto since the killing start actually, as Naruto has been avoiding him. But this was a perfect time, right when he got out of solitary. Naruto found himself standing in front of the man. His eyes glanced around. What neither Danzo or the root agent saw was a seep of smoke seeping from the bottom of Naruto's feet into the ground, as Naruto had a small smile on his face. This was the first Danzo saw him showing that expression before. You've been avoiding me, said Danzo. His cane in his hand is bandaged, covering up half his face and his arm in a sling. To his side there was two envoys, his roots, but around them was the other operatives. But to his side was the two special. They were none other than Fu, and also Torun. Fu, the member of the Yamanaka clan, and Torun, a member from the Aburame clan, that has a rather unique set of bugs. Poison-wise. Well, not exactly, said Naruto. I just didn't have time. I've sent my agents numerous times to find you, and you told them that you were busy. Not even come for a single talk. You know, if I was not a person that is level-headed, I would think that you were showing insubordination and defying me, Naruto. After all I've given you, training and such, and also gave you a promise that you could slaughter as much as you can while I rule Konoha. Are you against my dream? Of course not, said Naruto. Then why have you been avoiding me? Not to mention your random slaughterization of the villagers. That has to stop. You're drawing too much attention to yourself, and I'm afraid that you will get caught, and if you do, all of this will go down in shambles, Danzo said. Danzo had been, well, eager to do something about Naruto. So, it was depending on this meeting. If this meeting did not turn out well, then Naruto will forever be a slave to Danzo. Danzo already had everything set up, the seals, to bind Naruto and use him. A seal to completely focus his mind to only serve one being, and that is Danzo Shimura. So Danzo was just waiting for Naruto's reaction to see how he would regard himself towards these questions. Yet the boy was calm and still. How do you know it was me, said Naruto. Well, given the fact that I know personally about your bloodlust, and the things you would do if you do not relieve that stress, I am well aware that it is you. But on the how, I do not know, seeing that for most of the time you were locked away, or you were either on a mission. So tell me, have you found out another paw from the fox that you were hiding from me? You know, said Naruto as he glanced around, his eyes seeing every single root members as he could see well in the darkness despite they thought they were hiding. The bodies of emotionless people is quite smart to use. Danzo narrowed his eye. What? I mean, if they don't have any emotion, they won't go against you and they would do as you say. But wouldn't it be better if they were just zombies? Beings with no feeling of pain, to throw themselves like a madman, even for death, not caring what happened. Wouldn't that be better? Or would your roots still be on top? What are you talking about? Said Danzo. Oh, I'm merely asking you a question. Wouldn't you prefer to have beings that listen to you without a second thought? Beings that are completely unfeeling, that don't actually feel pain, that don't stop until they're completely obliterated. Wouldn't you? Naruto asked. Well, why that would exactly be the dream, Danzo said. I'm confused why you asked me this question. Because, said Naruto, you want me to stop killing people of Konoha. Is that correct? Danzo tapped his hand 3 times on the cane. The root agents behind Naruto moved, ready to subdue him at any time now. He was gonna be a weapon whether he liked it or not, Danzo thought to himself. But I'm afraid that I won't, said Naruto. Because I've been lying to you, Danzo-sama, Naruto said, in a rather sarcastic tone. Do you really believe I would serve you? To give you everything? It was as I thought, said Danzo. But it wasn't wise for you to tell me that while you're still here. Oh, I suppose you're gonna kill me now, said Naruto. No, you're far too valuable to be killed. Instead, I will simply use you until I accomplish what I want. Then I will break you into what exactly you are, a mindless, heartless demon, to fully accomplish what I want. You know, you're saying that I shouldn't have told you that because I can't escape. But it seems like you've misunderstood something, said Naruto. Meanwhile, outside, Minato was in his office. It was just a normal day. Things have been going well so far despite the 3 deaths that happened some time ago. When he heard a call. Once again. The call kept on coming. As the man turned his head finally towards the window, it was then that he saw it. The people of Konoha were confused. The sky was bright and cheery. The next thing they knew, it was dark. And not a normal dark. It was pitch black. The shade swallowing the entire peaceful atmosphere. Everyone in the market district stopped. Everyone stopped shopping as they all looked up to the sky. Hundreds, maybe thousands of crows seemed to appear from all ends of the village. They screeched. It sounded like death was raining down in the village. Many thought that they were being attacked as they started to run. Ninjas and envoy quickly rushed towards the stations. Meanwhile, Kushina was looking up as she was in the backyard, tending to her garden. What the hell? She said. On the training field, men must stop. As Mito looked up. Wasn't it just clear a moment ago? She said. Sasuke over to the side as Sakura was sitting down, as she had a bento box in her hand. Is this rain? Sakura asked. I don't think so, said Menma. As Ami came over. Are those birds? As Mito narrowed her eyes. No, they're... yeah, but not any kind of bird, they're crows. But this is the first time seeing so much of them. The loud sound then echoed through the training field. As Ami grabbed her ears. What the hell? As everyone looked over. Is this an attack? What the hell is going on? Said Sakura. As Sasuke narrowed his eyes, he looked towards Menma. Before the both of them sped off, the other girls quickening their pace as well to catch up. Minato was on the roof by this time, as he was wondering what the hell was going on. Hokage-sama. Take them down, said Minato. As many people were running in fright and scared. This was what happened the last time. The group of envoys went through hunt sign at the same time, before they breathed out a massive fire dragon that seemed to combine into one. The thing roared and split the heavens as it went straight up towards a murder of crows. The crows then descended down towards it before they burst. They literally exploded when they came in contact with the fire, as the fire seemed to be consumed into nothing but black mist that started raining down on Konoha. Minato reached out his hand as one of them dropped into his palm. It was like rain, but yet it was black. And it felt dark, sinister. His mind went on Naruto as he narrowed his eyes. He turned, telling, "Where is Naruto?" he asked. "Sir, Kat is currently watching over him." "Find her. I won't know his exact location at the moment." Talon nodded. Minato didn't know why, but he had a suspicion that his son was involved in something. But he couldn't prove it, despite accusations being failed because there was no evidence against Naruto. Minato just felt an odd feeling. It was weird. Perhaps something was wrong with him and he needed help. So Minato had to know if Naruto was in visible sight. Talon came back a moment later. "Sir, Kat just reported that he's at the park. He's merely confused as everyone else, judging by the look on his face." Minato nodded as he looked back up in the sky, as the black rain kept on falling. Meanwhile, one of the envoys noticed it was Fu. The underground passageway. Everything went dark. Danzo quickly moved back, as Naruto was no longer in sight. Laughter could be heard, a splitting, demonic laughter. "Are you afraid?" The voice of Naruto came out smoothly. "Don't be absurd, my boy," said Danzo. "You are stuck down here with us. Do you really think that you can escape?" "Seems like you don't understand. I don't want to escape. Not even the slightest. I told you already, Danzo. Having an army of undead soldiers that can only be obliterated to be put down would be marvelous for my cause." "So you want my root agents," Danzo said. "No, more than that. At the state that they are right now, they're useful but not that much. That is why I'm gonna make them better. Far better than you can even imagine. But in doing so, you will have to die." Danzo heard a shrieking sound as something snapped. The scream of Naruto could be heard as he dropped to one knee. "Do I have to do this every time?" Naruto said to himself. "Sorry about that, Naruto-kun. But the more you transform, the more you'll come to see it more easily. Given that this is your second time, the transition is not going so smoothly. So you just have to fight through the pain. But this is nothing to you. You've been through worse, haven't you?" "Yes, you're right. I've been through worse," said Naruto, as Jashin smiled to herself. "Now, take his head." The loud snapping of bones could be heard as Danzo wondered what the hell was going on. He decided to retreat back as he moved back. Fu and Toru decided to block his escape while Danzo retreated into the lower base. "Take him alive," Danzo said. That was the last order given, as Danzo retreated down to the lower level. Danzo heard absolutely nothing as he moved, quickly making his way. Danzo arrived towards one of the exits only to find it blocked off by dark, seeping smoke that was coming from the ground. Danzo heard absolutely nothing. No scream of anguish, no pain, shriek, nothing, as he wondered what the hell was going on up there. He had 200 root agents. All of them were not here, but 200 in total, and a majority of them were here. There is no way that Naruto could kill all of them. Despite his strength that was granted to him, he's still merely a child. All of them would definitely put him down, and they were his to command, so they would literally give their life to make sure that they knock him out instead of killing him. So Danzo waited, unafraid. As he waited, wondering when they will show up, when they will bring the body of Naruto Uzumaki to him. But Danzo got absolutely nothing. Nothing he got, as silence still permeated the area. As Danzo's visible eyes strained to see in the darkness, down here had a bit more light. "Sir, we apprehended him. It's over." As that brought a small smile to Danzo's face, as he quickly made his way back up, as Naruto really thought that he stood a chance. When Danzo arrived, he saw the lights on. Once again, the darkness was not around anymore. Well, not to his vision. "Where is he?" said Danzo. Laughter could be heard. That shocked Danzo to his core. It wasn't that laughter was dark, it was just not human. "He's right there, sir. Danzo looked forward. Fu. He's not subdued. The man known as Fu wearing his mask turned towards Danzo, only for the mask to fall off his face. It was then that Danzo saw it. The man's eyes were completely black, smoke seeping from his mouth. I know, but he told me to call you. Danzo saw the rest of his agents on the ground. He could not see Naruto because the boy was in the darkness. The agents were just lying there unmoving. Rise. That was a word that was spoken, and they did rise from the depths. It seems that they were crawling out of the underworld itself. Despite them being on the surface, their bodies mingle and twist and turn. Danzo did not know what Naruto did to them. As Naruto's hand was on the ground, a large, dark angel was seeping from his body. Final form. Ascension, he said. It was then that their bodies rise and pulse unnaturally before their eyes snapped towards Danzo. Danzo stepped back. Before he felt it, the wind beside him picked up. Danzo sped through one-handed seal as he turned. Wind style. Wind bullets as he fired wind bullets from his mouth. As he felt the wind bullet, he could literally hear it tearing through flesh. The body, on the other hand, did not fall. As Danzo moved as he was nearly decapitated. As he landed back, he was kicked harshly in the back before he slammed against the wall. It was then that he heard the unsheathing of Tontos. Danzo leaped, but Torun dropped from the sky, his arm ready to touch Danzo right in the face. Danzo tilted his head, but that left him right open as he was impaled several times from Tontos from the root agents. Danzo cursed as he vanished and reappeared. He cursed in his mind as he had to use the Izanagi, the one in his eye socket, that special eye. He had to use that one. Damn it, he snarled to himself. The sealing matrix on his arm prevented him from using any of the other Sharingan because they sapped so much energy, he had to keep them sealed away by a tremendous seal. So if he died right now without unlocking the seal, he would definitely die. So Danzo did the smartest thing possible. He ran, only for the root agents to chase after him. As Danzo was fast, as he quickly made his way. But the number and the sheer amount of speed, they outpaced him. Danzo leaped back as a hail of shurikens came down, trying to pierce him. Yes. Run, run, run. Run, my little prey. Danzo didn't know where the voice was coming from as he leaped away, only for a hand to grab his leg and yank him as he smashed into the ground. Danzo found swords at his throat as he stopped, his eyes frantically moving around while his one eye. He then heard a snarling. It sounded like something was dragging on the ground. Sorry, I'm not quite used to this form. There was again the voice that sounded unhuman. So you have to pardon me on that, said Naruto. Well, Danzo, seems like you was wrong. You just gave me these soldiers, something that I would greatly use. These would be the perfect weapons, as I said. They don't eat, they don't sleep. All they do is serve their master. As all of them bow except for the ones that had the blade at Danzo's throat. Now, Danzo, would you like to see what I've become? Said Naruto as he stepped forward. If many people knew Danzo, they knew that he was not a man to fear anything. But he screamed. The sight that Danzo saw, he wasn't sure if it was the eyes or the face alone, but the sight. Danzo screamed as Naruto laughed. Outside, the crows start to clear away. As the earth, the sky over Konoha start to get bliss once again, the sun shining through. The awakening of the... what would you call it? An abomination that Naruto just turned into. Despite his new transformation, he was not yet whole, as you could say it. There was still something lacking, because his body had to go through pain before transforming. He was not yet what Jashin wanted. But this was not foreseen because Jashin was mixing her powers with the Kyuubi. Jashin's power was 100 times stronger. But the Kyuubi darkness, the Kyuubi had changed. something was going on. As she had accepted Jashin's thoughts and words without a second thought. And the more she did, the more black her hair become. As it was barely red at this moment. As Naruto didn't seem to notice, he thought that she was the one doing it. Because he liked her black hair. But the Kaiba was going along with Jashin. It wasn't that she was her slave. But she was accepting her more easily. After all, the sage had made the Kyuubi. He made her not to slaughter humans like she did. Well, the Shikaku did hate humans. But they were beings of mass chakra, so they couldn't know otherwise. But the Kyuubi was never truly dark. But now that has changed. And Naruto was changing more and more. Moments later, as Naruto sit, around him was the bodies of the root, unmoving all of them. Underground was the remains of Danzo. I said remain because that is what it was. The torso of Danzo was left, as Naruto had filled it with so much darkness. The seal had overridden. The darkness that Jashin had could override most seals. Only reason why she was still kept inside Naruto is because Shinigami had placed some of his own power to keep her seal waiting there, along with the seal that Sarutobi had used his life to put up. At the moment, Naruto was drenched in blood. His face was swallowed in nothing but blood. His long canines showing. He had resorted back to his normal form. Blood was dripping from his hands, his teeth. Even his hair was messy in blood. As he spat something. He picked himself up, getting up off Danzo's corpse, while what remained of it. The man's eyes were gouged out. It seemed like someone had ripped his scalp right open. There was several tear and slice across his chest. His throat had been torn out. His legs removed. His fingers removed. Let's just say that Danzo went through hell before he was put in hell. As for Danzo, the man looked around confused to where he was. His mind tried to remember what happened, but for some reason, something tapped him on the back of the head as the memories came back. Danzo dropped to the ground, actually shaking in fear. Oh, why hello there. Danzo turned to see a beautiful, dark-haired woman. She licked her lips. My, your soul is so tainted. As Jashin seemed to wheeze in excitement, her lust coming out fully. As she was panting heavily, her breath coming out in itches because of the darkness soaking through the man's soul. Amazing, she said. You will be a fine dinner, a wonderful appetite. Now, come to me. Danzo tried to run. He tried to outrun her. She simply laughed as she let him run. There is no way that he can escape her. No one can. As she let him run, it's so wonderful to chase them, she thought to herself, as she squealed in delight before slowly tracking after him. Meanwhile, as Naruto was in his mindscape, the part where the Kyuubi was, her 9 tails were wrapped around him as he was nestled deeply within her bosom, his face buried in there. She giggled as he spoke, because his mouth was moving. As he then looked up, did I do well? He asked. Wonderful, she said. As she pat him on the head. You're always a good boy, my Naruto-kun, she said. As Naruto smiled the praise. She saw the look on his face. There was something you want to say. What's wrong? Come on, it's me. You can ask me anything. Well, that Gara girl. What about her? She's kind of like me. Can I play with her? Said Naruto. Well, of course. I mean, good boys deserve a reward. You can play with her as much as you like, as long as you don't love her as you love us. Because that would be a shame. As the Kyuubi pouted, of course not, said Naruto. There will be no one that I will love more than you two, he said. As her tails tightened around him a bit. And that is why you're so perfect, Naruto-kun. As she smiled. As he smiled back. If one would see this scene, it would look quite wholesome. Well, until you know who these people are. Time skip. As Naruto made his way towards the academy. Back at home, he was still playing that game that he was playing. pretending like everything was just peachy until time was right to do what he was actually gonna do. That agent that had transformed into Naruto was called back. And the moment he did, he was, well, taken over as well. As Naruto was given the ability to do a lot of things while he was trapped in that isolation. Things that he came to love that he could do. And they were amazing. The souls of the dead, the souls that he commanded, they worship him. He could use them as he see fit. And the essence from their body only make him stronger and stronger. He finally arrived. As Sasuke had a snarl on his face. "You're late." Sasuke has been getting rather irritated of him lately. The reason being, Naruto was no longer cursing at him. Even Sakura snarled as well. "We've been waiting here for half an hour." Seeing that Naruto wasn't lashing out at them, they thought it was wise to try to raise their voice against him. He looked confused. Before he looked behind him, he didn't look down as he looked up, as he looked to the left and then to the right. Before he stepped forward. "Are you talking to me?" he said. "Of course," said Sasuke. As Naruto's fingers twitched, before he lowered his hand. "Can you repeat that?" Naruto asked. Sasuke clenched his fist. "You heard what I said." "Then why don't you repeat it?" said Naruto. "Say what you just said once again." "No. Why the hell should I waste my time?" Sakura started to get nervous. Maybe Naruto hasn't changed that much. "Alright, he's here. Just let's go," said Sakura, trying to break the tension. "Fine." With that, they made their way as they marched upstairs, making their way through the academy. Today was a test for student exams. Today was going to be a rather gleeful day. Meanwhile, at the office, Minato looked perplexed. 2 meetings has passed so far and Danzo Shimura has not showed up for one of them. Minato knew that Danzo didn't like him that much, and it was, well, shared between them because Minato didn't like him as well. But something was off. Danzo was always there for the meetings, always trying to undermine him. So for him to not show his face at all, it became worrying. Minato had the envoys check his house, but it seems like no one has been there in days. So at the moment, Danzo Shimura was missing, as everyone was trying to find him, but no one seemed to can. Minato turned his head as he looked towards a photo of Menma and Mito and him and Kushina, as Naruto was not in this. Well, he was not in any of their photos, given the fact that they locked him away for most of his life. So, yeah. As he wondered how they would do on the exam though. As he's looking forward to see his children participate, even Naruto as well. The boy has shown growth over the past couple of months. No more lashing out, and he's rather calm and quiet. Minato didn't know if this was a trick to lessen his guard on him, or perhaps the boy has truly changed. Perhaps isolation let him see that he would be lost without them. Yes, that was the way that Minato's mind decided to think about it. Yeah, that was what happened, he said to himself. If he only knew how wrong he was. Meanwhile, as Naruto and the group arrive on the second floor, as Naruto's eyes look towards the room number that said 301, his eyes instantly saw through the genjutsu. "See what I told you," said Jashin. "Much better, isn't it?" "Yes, it's wonderful," said Naruto. "Well, I could have break that genjutsu easy as well," said the Kyuubi. "Oh, we know," said Jashin. "We don't forget that you're the ultimate, powerfulest Biju of them all. And you better damn remember it," said the Kyuubi. "Hey, can we change your name?" Naruto asked. "What?" said the Kyuubi. "Well, the Kyuubi, it's like a title, right? Can we change your name into something other than that?" "Well, I do have a name." "What is it?" said Naruto. "It's Kurama," she said. "Kurama?" said Naruto. Kurama, he said, thinking about the name. "Do you like it?" she asked. "Well, I don't like it," said Jashin. "And I care because," said Kurama. "What do you think, Naruto-kun?" "Well, I like it," said Naruto. "Well then, there it goes. You guys can call me Kurama from now on." Jashin snarled. "I'll call you my fox bitch," she said. As the Kyuubi snarled back at her. "Screw you." "Oh, gladly," said Jashin. The Kyuubi scoffed at that. "Always in the mood, aren't you?" "You know I am," said Jashin. "Naruto-kun is going to take part in the exam. Why don't we have some fun?" "Leave me alone," said the Kyuubi. "Come on, Kurama. Hugh-chan, let's have some fun. As Jashin chased after her in the mindscape. It seemed rather wholesome. Well, then again, if you knew who they were, you wouldn't say that. Meanwhile, Naruto snapped from his thoughts. Do you hear me? As Naruto blinked. Who the hell are you? He said. I was talking to you. There was a boy in front of him. He had the same eyes as Hinata. Black hair as well. He was a Hyuga, it seems. Naruto turned his head and started to walk away. Hey, I was talking to you. Naruto was confused, as he didn't know how he got in the situation. He wasn't really paying attention. He then saw the others looking towards him. He's not really one for a chatter. Just leave him alone, said Sakura, as she didn't want anything to happen bad right now that would end up getting someone hurt or killed. This Neji guy had showed up with Tenten once Lee had tried to go inside, and Sasuke had tried to attack the proctor at the doorway, which was disguised Izumo and Kitetsu, and Lee blocked their attacks. And Neji then asked what Naruto's name was, like he did not know, as he heard about the so-called monster, as he was looking at him right now. But Naruto didn't pay attention to him at first, so Neji pushed it. As Neji was still a bit in front of him. Move out of my way. Or what, said Neji. I'll carve out your eyes and feed them to you, said Naruto. Everyone was shocked by that statement. I'm gonna give you to the count of 3. 1, 2. Tenten stopped in the middle. Okay guys, calm down, she said, as she pushed Naruto and Neji back, her hand still on Naruto, because she couldn't physically move him. He looked down towards her hand before grabbing it. Hey, release. Ow, she says. He started to squeeze. Lee turned his head towards Naruto. That is not youthful. Please release my teammate. As Naruto tightened his hold, Lee moved in to stop Naruto. As he reached to grab Naruto's hand before he paused, Neji was surprised to see Lee pause at that. Lee felt strange. What was this feeling? As Naruto was directing so much death and killer intent towards him, it froze him, despite no one else feeling it. As Naruto wanted to kill all of these people in here. Sometimes when he doesn't get to kill someone, it just builds up so much bloodlust. He's been locked away in solitaire for 2 months. He only managed to kill 2 people by smoke clone. Even killing all of those, well, that was not merely killing for the Anvus. He just converted them, something he would reveal soon enough. He killed Danzo, but that still did not quench his bloodlust, his thirst for death. But he calmed himself. Now was not the right time, as he saw everyone looking over here. He released Tenten's arm as her arm was red. Hey jackass, look what you did to me, she said, as she got angry, looking at her red, bruised arm. Lee stepped back, as he was confused. Why did he stop? Why didn't he protect his teammate? Even Neji was surprised by that. As Naruto started to walk off. Where the hell you going, said Sasuke. Can't you see we're at the floor? Idiot, 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 said Naruto to himself. And you're an Uchiha. I thought your eyes were supposed to be special. Sasuke glanced towards Naruto with a glare. Sasuke had been trying to develop his Sharingan ever since he came back from the Land of Wave mission. As he only still had one Tomo, it has not evolved since that. As Naruto walked over towards the Dex before picking it up, he then threw it. Both Izumo and Kitetsu had to move as the Dex smashed against the ceiling tile, breaking it as the illusion fell. He simply walked off, not really caring, as Izumo and Kitetsu blinked. What the hell? As the two followed behind him as Naruto made his way. Did you know? Sakura asked quietly. Yeah. In the last moment, said Sasuke, as he knew that not even she would buy that. Sakura simply nodded though, as she looked towards Naruto back, who wasn't looking back at them. Yo, said a voice, as Kakashi was waiting at the door for them. Move, said Naruto. Oh, is that the way to speak to your Jonin sensei, Naruto? Kakashi said, trying to be calm with the boy. He has been acting rather sedated lately, so he hoped that kept up. Move, now. What changed? Your attitude has been so pleasant lately. Tired of playing a fool, said Naruto. Move. Don't you want to ask why I'm here? Naruto smashed his fist into the wall as it cracked. You're wasting my time. Move. Why, are you so in a rush, said Kakashi, not letting him pass. As Naruto took several deep breaths. "Calm down, Naruto-kun," said the voice of the Kyuubi. "You should let him kill them," said Jashin. As Naruto's arm flexed. "I'm just kidding," Jashin said. "Don't hurt them yet, Naruto-kun. It would draw too much attention to you, and things would be bad. Unless we..." "No, not yet," she said. As Naruto backed away, he went silent. "That is much more likely," said Kakashi, as he looked towards a wall that was broken. Sakura had stepped a distance away from Naruto. Sasuke stood there. This guy has some serious mental issues, he thought to himself. He was probably messed up in the head because of what happened to him when he's younger. But this guy was seriously broken and needed some mental help. He thought that would have changed in the past 2 months. It changed him a bit, but it seems like his full tendencies were coming back from the past. "I'm glad that you all three have decided to partake in the exam." Kakashi then went on to explain that if one of them had taken part, then the others could not. "Well," said Kakashi, "I just came here to wish you all luck. So, good luck." With that, he vanished. As Naruto stepped in the room first, followed by Sasuke and then Sakura. All eyes turned towards them. Bloodlust from the other competitors. As Naruto laughed, drawing more attention. "Pathetic," he said out loud. "Are you trying to scare me with your pathetic bloodlust? You're all weak. Disappointingly so. And if I see any of you in the exam, I'll kill all of you," he said. As the people were shocked that he would rightfully say that out loud. Did he really want a target on his back? "So if we come to fight, find me. My name is Naruto. Please, please find me." His eyes then snapped towards the stone ninjas that were there. Ninjas from all continents were there after all. Even though Tishikage would never appear even if his stone genin passed the finals. But if they were attacked in Konoha, that would definitely mean war. And this was just a way of, well, Oniki showing that Minato might have still be feared, but the stone ninjas were here to still participate. As Naruto smiled towards them, seeing their headband, the perfect way to provoke them. He smiled to himself. "Hey, you guys are here as well," said the voice. As a team came in right after them, it was Hinata's team. As Hinata was followed by Menma, who was there rather quickly. It seemed like the both of them had made their way. As Team 8 was there as well, with Team 6. Team 10 then came in a moment after that, as Shikamaru sighed, seeing that everyone was here. Troublesome. Naruto chose to ignore all of them, as they were just waste of time. Before his eyes looked towards Hinata, as he gave her a wink. The girl's face turned slightly red before she turned her head, but her fingers twitched a bit as she remembered, as her body was slammed up in the wall, as he pressed himself against her firmly and attacked her lips. She couldn't stop him. No one could, because he did what he wanted, and he'd take what he wanted. As a shiver went down her spine as she remembered when he said those words. It scared her, but it also made her feel so unbelievable. She couldn't understand the feeling. It's not like she would ever tell anyone about this, because they would think that she was crazy, and she would get in so much trouble for what she's been doing for the past couple of months. So she would keep it to herself. But she still wasn't his bitch, he thought to herself. She was not someone to be used by him, despite him saying that he can do whatever he wants. She wasn't some toy, and she was with Minma. She needed to stop doing this. But despite saying that her mind refused to accept that concept, because in the back of her mind, there was another Hinata, a rather lustful one, that just wanted to break free from the confinements of being a Hyuga heiress, and wanted him. But she would never fully let her out. She kept that inside tight. "So, Sasuke, how's things going?" asked Minma, as he heard that from his mother that thing over there was changing. He refused to believe that and refused to see him as anything else but a monster. "Things have been better," Minma said. He wants to know how Naruto is going along. "I didn't ask that," Minma said as he turned towards Mito. "But you want to know." As Naruto glanced around the room, he was not paying them any attention. He then walked over as he stopped right in front of a group of stone ninjas. "What the hell do you want?" one of them asked. "My name is Naruto Namikaze," said Naruto, using the last name of his fathers. "What?" The stone ninjas narrowed their eyes. "You see, My father is a Fotokagi who slaughter 100, thousands of your people. Probably kill someone in your family as well. You serious? One of them asks. The kunoichi of the group. Yes, said Naruto. As the group started to clench their fists. And one day, I'm gonna kill the three of you. Perhaps it's today, perhaps it's tomorrow. But you will die. The girl had to grab her friend from slamming his fist in Naruto's face. But little did he know that was a wrong thing to do. Luckily he was caught. Get the hell away from here before I slaughter you, the boy said, his eyes filled with rage and vengeance. Oh, did he kill someone precious to you? Good, said Naruto. As the girl had to struggle, the other teammate holding on to his team leader because that boy was leader. Long black hair that reached down to his shoulders, and beaded black eyes. The man was furious. The reason being, his grandfather that he loved was killed by Minato Namikaze. His mother and father were Jonins of the village. And he never spent much time with them. He spent much time with his grandfather, as he came to see his grandfather as something more than just a grandfather. He was so precious to him, and Minato killed him. Hey, the girl said, calm down. We will get him, not here. Too many witnesses. The boy took several deep breaths, as they were all told not to cause trouble by Oniki himself, as that would be rather bad if they were the first one to start it. But if they got attacked, they were to defend themselves with everything they got. Suddenly, the room was filled with smoke, as Ibiki came in. Alright, maggots. Shut up and sit down. It's time the exam begins. Hinata found herself right beside him. She cursed, why did it have to be him? Minma was all the way to the back as he could barely even see her. As he cursed at that, Ibiki went on to explain the rules of the test, as everyone listened keenly. Alright, begin. Hinata narrowed her eyes. She decided to do her work first as she used her Byakugan. She was able to find the answers rather quickly, as she had came to the possibility after hearing what he said that he could cheat, so she did. Hinata was smart, but these questions were just ridiculous. Some of them she could not answer, so she got them. Well, the ones that she could not. After all, a ninja is a ninja. Ninjas lie, thief, and cheat. And she was a ninja, despite being a Hyuga. She realized that he was not doing nothing as she was finished with her tests. He hadn't even wrote down a single thing. You're looking at me, said Naruto, his voice barely a whisper. She realized she was caught as she looked away, trying to play in ignorance. They were told if they caught cheating enough time, they would be disqualified, as they would lose points after points, until they were left with none and they would be out of the exam. So she said nothing to him. It was then that she felt it, a hand gently rest on her leg. She looked towards him in the glare, but his hand kept on coming up further and further. Her face started to turn incredibly red, before his hand paused and just rested right on her inner thigh, as he did not move it. She did not move her hands off the table throughout the entire exam. He just left his hands there. He did not move a single muscle, as the more red she got, the more she started to pant and hyperventilate. His hand rested on her thigh, and she could not even curse or slap him because she didn't want to interrupt the exam. Her eyes could see Menma from where he was, as she was glad that he couldn't see her. She glared towards him, a glare that would kill a lesser man. But the part of her that was in the back of her mind did not want him to remove it. But this part wanted him to. But he did not. After a while, she saw him pick up his pen, as he started to write. She then realized that he was looking out for a paper, really plainly. He was not even showing a hint of trying to hide it. He just wrote down everything that she wrote, before set the pen down. How did he not get caught? As his hand then started to move up her leg. It was like he was walking with his fingers, before he stopped at certain areas, not going too far. He was teasing her. Alright, that's enough. Before she knew it, the exam was over, as Naruto moved his hand slowly, as her face was red, incredibly so. He just smirked, not at her but at the room, as his eyes caught sight of a certain redhead that brought a smile to Naruto's face. Meanwhile, in the corner of the room, they so happened to have a person in this exam, that wanted something important. Not even Ibiki could tell who this person was. After all, his disguise were not really a disguise that anyone could break. But the eyes of this person was set on Naruto. Judging from the rumors that this person had heard about him, the person was curious, as the person wanted to know if this boy was loyal to Konoha in any way. After all he's been through literal hell. And having the Kyuubi Jinchuriki on your side, especially the one that had more of the power, he knew because he had a lot of information source gathering in Konoha. The other two were just merely pawns. The power had been split, but he got the majority of the power. The person extended their tongue and licked their lips. Well, this exam will be surely interesting. But guys, be and subscribe right here. If you want to next part, do like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn on the bell notifications to be posted. Remember to share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, go ahead and check out the brand new series of What If Naruto was a legendary neglected Uzumaki over on Anime King, and enjoy that guys. And remember, if you're new, to go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and your support. And also guys, stay tuned for a brand new episode of Anime King 2, which I hope that you guys will enjoy. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say we begin this new, well, not begin. What do you say we get the hell out of here guys? See you guys soon. Peace.